Good morning. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you.
Are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Hey, John gets hooked up here as well. How's your day coming along?
Good. We're about to do a job, but I told my husband, I said, I'm going to be on this call and you get started, and then I'll help you in a little bit.
Yeah. Oops. I was trying to send that to John. I sent it to you on accident. Where are you at, John? So let's go into goals and goal setting. What are goals for? What do they do for us? How do they change our life? We move back in here. On the classes that we're giving, this is the business matrix class. And we're actually starting at the beginning of our lessons for the Thinking and Results program. And we're going to start off with the worthy ideal. What is the worthy ideal? We're going to get a better understanding of beliefs, programmings, perception, the way we think, how it's holding you back, how it's controlling your behavior, how it's not allowing you to go beyond what you know. And the truth is that there is a cybernetic mechanism inside of us that's actually keeping you on track to go where you don't want to go, to experience what you don't want. That cybernetic mechanism is literally a conglomerate of beliefs, perceptions, that the belief creates a perception, the perception develops into a behavior, the behavior develops into a habit, and almost all behaviors are habitual. So we're normally going in the wrong direction all the time. Not because we can't have more, we can't do more because we're not programmed to do the things that we want. So we're going to move into this worthy ideal, setting and achieving worthy goals. Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want and generally get it. The leaders in every walk of life decide quickly and firmly. That is a major reason why they are leaders. The world has a habit of making room for the person whose words and actions show they know where they're going. Now, a strong leader, a good leader, is always advanced decision making. He must. The leader must know where they're going. So the reason why he's making decisions fast and firmly is because he's imagining before time. So here we go into the creative process that we should all have, but we rarely use. You're normally not imagining where you're going, what you're doing, what you're going to experience, how you're going to experience it. We're normally thinking from the belief systems, not what we want. We're normally thinking what we know, not what we want. And it's I'm going to go into this. The average individual is thinking about past experiences with a conglomerate of their programming. You're going to say, was how does someone go beyond previous experiences and past programming? You literally have to imagine. Imagination is the creative process. Einstein said that imagination was creativity having fun. It is your direct connection with infinite intelligence, and you can literally tune into more ideas. But the average individual does not go beyond what they know. So they go back to these old images, old experiences, and they use that to create reality. and they keep getting stuck. They're like on this mouse wheel and they can't get out of the mouse wheel. Why? Because you keep using the same image making process. Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want and generally get it. How do you know what you want? You got to think into your results. You got to think into the future. If someone tells me I want to have $1 million, that's the easy part. How are you going to earn it? What are you going to do to earn 1 million? Then you've got to decide the service you're going to give, the service that you're going to render, and then you've got to develop yourself with the habits of behavior to execute that way of acting, that way of behaving, and that way of earning. So imagination is our ability to connect ourselves what's beyond what we know. Edison brought down the incandescent light bulb. How did he do that? He was going beyond what the people were saying, what they were talking about. He was going beyond that memory, and he had decided that he wanted to harness light. That was the decision. And by making a mental decision, he started to tune in to this universal consciousness and begin to draw down ideas, tune in. Intuition began to connect with him. And I'll go over that here in a minute. Permit every concern that you may have in any area of your life to leave your mind for the next few minutes. Permit your imagination to whisk you off to a mind place where dreams and wants float freely and in full view. Permit, let. Imagine you have access to all the resources you'll ever need, and you can have anything you want. What would you choose or target to begin moving towards? What do you really want? Remember, you are giving no thought to how you are going to get it or if you will ever get it. Your only objective in this exercise is to clearly define what you want. The average individual's mind is so locked up with limitations that they never permit themselves to go to this mind place. Imagine you have access to all the resources you will ever need, and you can have anything you want. Permit, let. What would you choose to target or begin moving towards? What do you really want? Remember, you are giving no thought to how you are going to get it or if you will ever get it. Your only objective in this exercise is to clearly define what you want. The average individual's mind is so locked up with limitations that they never permit themselves to go to this mind place. They're so blocked. They don't allow themselves to dream, to envision, to fantasize. But that's exactly what you must do. Majority of the people are thinking of what they know, their experiences in the past, their limited beliefs, and that blocks them every time. If you can't think of the idea that's going to change your life and the life of your family, it's because you're thinking from your program, and that's the problem. You're thinking from that belief system, and that's the problem. The problem with so many people today, they're so self-centered. They don't want to get out of their self. And that's exactly what I'm going to ask you to do. Get out of your ego. Get out of your self-centeredness and become selfless. When you learn to become selfless, you open yourself to the impossible and you tap into this infinite field of consciousness. When you're selfless, you're more God-centered. When you're selfish, you don't want to let go of your beliefs. When you're selfish, the ego says, who do you think you are? When you're selfish, you don't want to dream. When your ego is selfish, you don't want to fantasize. When you're selfish, you don't want to let go of the anger, the hate, the envy, jealousy. Selfishness is the making and breaking of people. Selflessness awakens your imagination to all of creation. I asked an individual last night, do you think anything is possible? He said, yeah. I said, then why don't you act like it? The truth is, majority of the people are so into their selfishness, they don't see the perfection inside of them. If we really knew that everything was connected with us and possible, we would act like it. And that's where I want to take you. To begin acting and behaving like what you really are, who you really are. You're perfect. There's divine perfection in each and every one of us. But normally we're so plugged up with programs, beliefs, ideas that we don't go beyond that. And we think from that same way of thinking. Thinking the results is based on now it's over 60 years of intense research. Uh, Bob built this program, Bob and Sandy together. And Sandy helped Bob unfold all this material. And she wanted to make a program with him. And so they got together and they developed this program. I worked with Bob since 2016, 2017. And I spent every week with him learning how to teach this material. And it's helped a lot of people. He's changed a lot of lives. This material was built for the practical application of reprogramming, deprogramming, reprogramming. The truth is you're more than what you think you are at the moment. This system of learning, if you follow it, it'll change your whole life. As you study this particular phase of thinking and the results, you're going to develop the awareness that deciding what you want and getting what you want are two completely different subjects. Deciding what you want and getting what you want are completely two different subjects. As you begin the process of deciding what you want, how you're going to get there is irrelevant. Just know that the lawful process of achieving your goal will be clearly explained. The concepts that you are covering in this particular lesson can effectively be applied to growth of a corporation, the effectiveness of a team, or the personal or professional development of an individual, regardless of the age or gender. Before you begin looking into ABCs of goal setting, take a close look at your belief system or the beliefs of your group. It appears there are guards that have been commissioned by a higher authority to arrest any forward progress in a person's life beyond the person's level of belief. These guards take their marching orders from the belief system itself, which is governed by natural laws of the universe. There is no growth beyond the beliefs that are held. If a person attempts to accomplish something beyond their belief, the mind will quickly and automatically create ideas or reasons justifying why it can't be done. And those ideas will continue to flow until the project is abandoned. I want you to pay very close attention to this. I always take people to this first lesson over and over and over again. Why? Because if you don't get this and you don't keep reflecting on it, you're lost. It doesn't matter what goal you have. It doesn't matter where you're going. If you don't understand that beliefs are the making and breaking of you, it'll control your life, the behavior of your life, and everyone around you. And it's not just you. It's everyone around you. Because what I'm teaching here is happening to everyone. They're just not conscious about it. They don't understand how the mind works. It appears there are guards that have been commissioned by a higher authority to arrest any forward progress in a person's life beyond the person's level of belief. That's the program. That's the ego. There's nothing wrong with the ego. Ego is the construction of ideas that you've developed within yourself. What we want to do is let go of parts of the ego that no longer serve you, and then restructure your ego, recondition your ego. Let go of beliefs that no longer serve you. Rewrite the ego. Become more aware and let go. These programs, these beliefs will control a person's life. And in general thumb, I've seen people stuck in a mental program for 20 years, 40 years, 60 years, 80 years to their deathbed, not realizing that the belief system was controlling the behavior the whole time. It appears there are guards that have been commissioned by a higher authority to risk any forward progress in a person's life beyond the person's level of belief. These guards take their marching order from the belief system itself, which is governed by natural laws of the universe. There is no growth beyond the beliefs that are held. If a person attempts to accomplish something beyond their level of belief, the mind, which is their mind, will quickly and automatically create ideas and reasons justifying why it can't be done. And those ideas will continue to flow until the project is abandoned. On the other hand, when a person's or a group believes that something can be done, the mind, same mind, will automatically begin creating ideas that will pave the path to accomplishment. The great secret of progress then lies in belief. Therefore, we must ask and demand answers of these questions. Do I have sound reasons for my beliefs? Where did my beliefs come from? Would changing my beliefs improve my life? How do I change my beliefs? As you attempt to answer some of these questions, many of your old views will fall to pieces. Think of every idea that you have, every memory, every word in your vocabulary. Whose were they? They were not yours. You've literally followed the leader since you were born. And as we follow the leader, whoever that is, we're picking up all those reasoning factors. I'll never forget the day that I learned it from the family members without awareness. We do this unconsciously. When we're not aware, we're literally programming our children, and our family or parents programmed us, and their family programmed them. This goes on for generations. But if we don't know where to stop it, and we don't know how this works, we continue to program the future into beliefs that don't serve us. At what age did you learn everything was not possible? Think about what I'm saying. At what age were you that you were taught that everything was not possible? They didn't have to say it, it's the way they acted. At what age did you hear, no, you can't have this, no, you can't have that? Well, why not? Because there's not enough money. Well, why not? At what age did we start to be tuned in that everything was not possible? At what age did we learn that unconsciously we're transmuting that idea unconsciously in the way we act, the way we behave, the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat others? We're literally programming, or we've been programmed into certain belief systems. So it's very important to reevaluate your belief systems. Form clear and definite ideas regarding your convictions as to why you do as you do, and as to why you think as you think. Such practices like conducting mental house cleaning. The practice of clear thinking tends to clarify the mind, tones up the faculties, sharpens the perceptions, and gives one a stronger and better grasp of the basic essentials for a larger and richer life. Clear and exact thinking is a very great necessity. It is, in fact, a sure means to advancement on the material as well as the spiritual planes. A line of distinction, however, should be drawn between surface thought, that is ordinary, trivial, and commonplace thinking, and real thought, which is associated with the understanding of truth. A line of distinction, however, should be drawn between surface thought, that is ordinary, trivial, and commonplace thinking, and real thought, which is associated with the understanding of the truth. The latter is deep thinking, which arouses dormant powers, quickens the perceptions, and leads to the enlargement of the understanding. The former is but a passing phase of mental activity, while the latter governs the life of man. The shallow surface thought that we give to the ordinary duties and small things of daily life is not the thought that reforms our character, develops our mind, or changes our belief and our destiny. It is the positive, deep, and penetrating thought that comes from profound and strong conviction, born of a higher perception and a clear realization of the truth. The surface idea is not the real thought. The inner convictions which control one's aims, listen to this, The inner convictions, which control one's aims, desires, and motives, constitute the real thought of the individual and wholly determine the course of a person's life and personal destiny. Our beliefs on our evaluation of something, our beliefs are based on our evaluation of something. At the end of the day, who are you really evaluating? Other than yourself. Do it, don't do it. Can it be done? Can it not be done? Don't act. Keep acting and behaving as you're acting and behaving. What internal dialogue is keeping you on track with the same results? Really focus. Look at the pattern plan you already have today. Look at the results. What are they telling you? You're not aware that you're not aware, and the majority of the people are not. The majority of the people are not aware that they're not aware. What are they not aware of? That there is a reticular activating system already inside of your way of thinking. And you're having internal conversations with yourself, from yourself, to yourself all the time. And if you don't know how to intervene in that, you're going to continue to move in the same path, getting more or less the same results over and over, day by day. Things are not changing, not because they can't, because you're not aware that there's a mental program. Frequently, when you reevaluate a situation, our belief about the situation will change. Check your beliefs with respect to what you think you can accomplish in your personal and business life. Sandy was a very influential executive, worked at doing billion-dollar deals with banks. She was also one of the most educated people in her state. She developed this with Bob so that she would be able to work with attorneys. She was an attorney and corporate individuals. So this business matrix, this thinking and results program, we teach you that we call it business matrix. Is really about taking people beyond what they know in the corporate settings, professional settings, personal settings, management. You can take yourself to do this, or you can take a team. A goal is something you are going after that you've never done before. A goal is designed to help you grow. It causes you to draw something from yourself that you didn't even know was there. A goal is designed to help you grow. It causes you to draw something from yourself that you didn't even know was there. If you know how to reach a goal, the goal is not going to do what do for you what the goals are designed to do. If you're really going to accomplish something, you're going to need to be inspired by going after something you really want. It's going to have to come from within. Goals are not to get there to grow. Another misconception a lot of people have. When you get there, you didn't win anything. You gained knowledge of how to go beyond what you were. The process of goals is to learn to develop dormant abilities, learn to become more of what you didn't see in yourself before, learn to become the person that you need to be to have that company, to have that person, that business. Goals are not to get, they're to grow. It's the process that changes you. If you're stuck, and we all get stuck, there's nothing wrong with being stuck. Staying there for too long is the problem. If you're stuck, it's because you've ran out of awareness of how to go beyond where you're at. You got to really reevaluate what you're doing, because what you're going to do, what you're doing is going to keep taking you in the same direction. You got to go back to the plan. The plan's not working. You've got to go back to the plan, go back to the drawing board, go back to the drawing board. And this needs to be literally a consecutive thing that you're doing day by day, week by week, month by month, so that you can measure yourself. Am I really going in the direction that I set my goal towards? Look at where you're at. Am I acting, behaving like the person that I need to be? Am I getting the results that I want? If they're not, you've got to go back to the drawing board. There's going to be an issue with the belief system. It's causing you to act and behave as you do, not allowing you to see what you need to see. Reevaluating the habits and behaviors literally will change the trajectory of where you're going. If you're really going to accomplish something, you're going to need to be inspired by going after something you really want. It's going to have to come from inside. That's what I tell people. If you're going to set a goal, make sure it's something you really want. Because if you're doing something you really don't love, you're not going to be inspired in action. You're not going to be inspired to tune into yourself. What do I need to do? Who do I need to become? What do I need to do next? If the goal's not big enough, the average individual quits. It's got to be something you really want. We're going to look at ABC goals. Type A goals are doing something you already know how to do. There's not much inspiration in knowing what you already know. Type B goals are what you think you can do. But the average individual thinks, oh, well, I could do that, but they're not inspired in action. Why? Because the goal's not big enough to cause you to go beyond what you already habitually think, to cause you to go beyond your habits. Everybody has 24 hours. Everybody does. It's what you do within those 24 hours that makes you. Type C goals come from your fantasy and are originated through the effective use of your imagination. Type C goals are your wants, what you really want. Type C goals come from your fantasies and are originated through the effective use of your imagination. The average individual does not go for what they want. Not because they can't have it. They're afraid to go beyond what they know. They normally think of what I think I can do, and then they go back to what they know, present results. They don't change. They're teeter-totter in between what they know and what they think they can do. And if you stay stuck here for too long, the goal fades, or even the goal that you're working on will fall apart because you're not allowing yourself to use the creative process to jump into your intuition. I'm going to explain this right now. This image I am going to draw here is what we call the stick person. Where are you at today? This is going to bring, very important, this is going to bring awareness to where you're at, where you're going, and help you alter the pattern plan that you've been stuck on. We don't get what we want, we get what we are. And we're not getting the results we want, it's because we're not going beyond what we know. It's called the stick person. Dr. Thurman Fleet created this image so we can get a better understanding of ourselves and where we're getting stuck at. This lower part here is the conditioned mind, conditioned way of thinking, belief systems. They're in the subconscious mind. We've got files and files and files of information. The centering here is the raison d'etre of the whole thing. Reasoning. We're normally reasoning as you think. Here's the mind. It's unseen. The mind is unseen. You don't see it. It's an energy. It's a movement. But the mind is vibrating all the time. This vital life force, which I call spirit, vital life force, just is. Just is. But we change this vital life force when it moves into ideas, memory. So this vital life force is vibrating, and it's vibrating right now. These are the senses. You can hear me. And when you're really emotional involved, you're listening. So if I say cat, dog, refrigerator, TV, you're picking up the sound and it's hitting the resonator of the whole thing, which is the mind. It vibrates and it looks for the signals in its archive. This is the subconscious. As I say dog, cat, refrigerator, TV, the symbols come flashing on the screen of the mind, conscious mind. Here's the image. It falls down on the screen of the mind. I say cat, green cat, blue cat, orange cat, yellow cat. I'm accessing your subconscious mind because I'm using these words and you're picking it up from your subconscious. And this energy flows into your conscious mind and the image flashes on the screen of your mind's eye, third eye, mind's eye. I'm accessing your mind's eye. Dog, cat, refrigerator. Now, whenever you go to think, what am I going to do next? I want to create a company, or I'm going to build this company. I'm going to do this type C goal. You begin to think, which means imagine. But the thing is, the average individual is not going into the imagination. They're going into their memory of the past. And as they go into the memory of the past, this idea flows right down into their body, causes them to feel as they feel. This is the body, instrument of the mind, instrument of the mind. And the mind, again, is something you do not see, but is something that you do express. You express that energy in behavior. And what you see is what's happening out here. Where you live is 3D. You live here. So this energy, memory, is moving out, causing you to act and behave as you do. But this is the reticular activating system. You keep getting the results you're getting because you're going to your past to create the future. And that's the problem. When you go to the past programming to create your new reality, you're not going to create anything new. When you go to your beliefs, belief systems, programs, and majority of it, you don't even know what's in there. That energy, when it's time to think, the average individual is not thinking. They're using mental activity. And if the mental activity comes from the past, they're using the past to create the future. This idea moves in, causes them to act and behave as they do, and this is what we call the law of vibration. This law of vibration, this thinking stuff, moves into the mind and body. The body receives a signal, causing it to act and behave as it does. And it keeps processing the same images, thinking it's going somewhere new. Day by day, their outer ring attracts the amount of money they earn. Result, the house they live in. Result, everything in the house. Result, relationships in the past, attractions in the past. Result, professional relationships. Result, this is attraction. Attraction is a secondary law. The primary law is vibration. So majority of the people didn't know that these ideas and memory from the past is normally moving right into the future. Not by accident or chance, but from the programming from the past. What's the trick here? Earlier, I said the creative process, use your imagination. The average individual is not thinking. They're using mental activity from the past. You're going to your past ideas to move into the future, and you're getting stuck. This is why we go to the imagination. The imagination is the largest box, infinite memory in here. This is where Edison was working. Give me 1 second. Edison was working from the future. So therefore, he would bring the future into the present. No, get him, please. Bring him in here. Bring him in here. Awesome. You want to play soccer? Mm, yeah. So here's the creative process. Creative process is about going beyond what you know. And if you're not using the unknown to think into your reality, you're going to get stuck because you're going back to what you know. This is where majority of people stay stuck. They keep using what they know, and that's the problem. Thoughts, takeaways, questions? These mental programs, let's look at the DNA. DNA carries memory. The body is not you, you live in a body, but the body carries memory. So your vital life force is literally reading the DNA and it's developed the body. Your spirit reads the DNA, and as it continues to read, it continues to develop the body the way it looks, the hair color, the eyes, all these. It's reading the information in the DNA. There's information in the DNA. So as you think, you pick up information from the DNA, memory coding, and they are also picking up memory from your past results. So these codes or coding, you're using that to navigate into your reality. A lot of times the way I'll make this, I'll put two boxes here. A box from the past and a box from the future. This one is universal intelligence. The average individual does not go for the future. They don't go to create results from this infinite storehouse, universal intelligence. This is where Edison worked for his ideas. This is where the Wright brothers went for ideas. The average individual is stuck here. They don't change and move into this direction. They stay hardwired to the past. Here we've got fantasy, theory, and a fact. This is the creative process. You've got to build the fantasy. You take the fantasy and move it from a fantasy to a theory. You must believe you are able and be willing to do what is required in order to turn the theory about your wants into a goal. Don't let outside conditions or circumstances dictate how you will live. Refuse to let anything that's going on outside of you to stop you. As you get emotionally involved in the goal, you're going to involve your emotions, and the expression of that emotional involvement is going to change your behavior. As your behavior changes, the results start to change, and your theory turns into a fact. Individuals without a goal are lost. They have no compass. They've got to wake up in the morning and get excited. I'm working towards my goal. Do we have thoughts, questions right now?
I don't have any now.
Okay.
No questions.
Now, the other thing that I brought in here is understanding how this is working. You're literally operating on frequencies. And your frequency is very important. Low vibration, when you're in a low vibration, you're going to pick up ideas from the program. When you're negative, you're going to pick ideas from the programming. When you're positive and you raise vibration, you go beyond what you know. Higher frequency, better thoughts, higher intuition. Lower frequency, remember your energy. Lower frequency, you get more of the past. You're going to go back to what you know. The brain is a motor. It is the mechanical part that moves the body into action, transmuting ideas into motion. The body is the instrument of the mind. The body is the instrument of the mind, taking orders from the brain. Clearly understand that the brain can only move according to the mind. The brain can only move according to the mind, which is unseen to the human eye, but visible action produced from its originating source, your thoughts. The brain is an electronic switching station. It is a broadcasting and receiving station. Focus. It is a broadcasting and receiving station. When we think, we send out ideas, visions, and we receive in return like-minded information returned from the ether. This is where geniuses operate all day long. A genius is just somebody that's gone beyond what people know. A genius is somebody that is using the same energy that you have, but they're characterized as genius because they're going beyond the known. They're going beyond the program. And when you go beyond the program, you go beyond beliefs, you're tuning in to a higher frequency. Therefore, you're gonna start to radio receive. You're gonna begin to tune in to other images and receive other ideas. When we think, we send out ideas, visions, and we receive in return like-minded information returned from the ether. If you're on a low frequency, you get that. If you're in anger, you send out anger, you receive information, more memory from anger. If you send out love, gratitude, gratefulness, appreciation, you begin to feel that. And also you're going to begin to get ideas to move in that direction. Creative imagination is receiving thoughts, impulses sent out from our dominant thoughts. When thoughts are stimulated with desire, this steps up your vibration, increasing thought, ideas, and visions. When thoughts are stimulated with desire, this steps up your vibration, increasing thought, ideas, and visions. Yes, thank you. We must direct our thoughts. This means the mind. Thoughts are like GPS to definite ends. To receive direction, which will come back to you in plans and visions. The body is a machine driven by the brain, guided by the mind. The brain versus the mind. In between the brain and mind is pure divine diamond light. That diamond light is your spiritual energy. When you can be more selfless, you're turning into more diamond light. When you're more selfish, that can't be done. This is wrong. That's wrong. You're going to tune into the wrong memories. I had an individual the other day tell me, well, I've got a group that I'm going to go work with, and I know they're of lower consciousness, and I know it's hard for people to change their consciousness. I said, there's nothing wrong with them. They're perfect. See them as perfect. Their spirit is perfect. Everyone's spirit is perfect. It's the memories that we entangle with. If there's poverty, it's because they're using impoverished ideas. If there's riches, it's because they're using rich ideas. Listen to the gift. Listen to the instructions. Your vital life force is perfect. Spirit is perfect. It's the memories that we entangle with that create reality. We've got to teach people that they're perfect. There's perfection in each and every one of us. But as we entangle with memory, we start to become one with it. We even start to believe with it we're it. Reprogramming is about literally replacing the ideas that you're using. Because the ideas that are using has created the life that you're living. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. It's the ideas that we use. If we're stuck, it's because we're using the same memory that got us stuck. Let's start by understanding what the mind is. The brain transfers and receives information. The mind is what creates and moves things into form. The brain transfers and receives information. The mind is what creates and moves things into form. The mind is where thoughts are created and where the imagination is put into formation. The mind is where thoughts are created and where the imagination is put into formation. The brain is what sends neurotransmitters throughout the body. The body moves into action according to the information going into and used by the mind. The information that comes into the mind comes from either the outside world or frequencies that you can tap into. I said it earlier, two types of memories. Memories which we were born into, culture, beliefs. As you entangle into it, it entangles into you. As you move into an idea, the idea moves into you. If you keep moving into the same ideas, you're going to keep attracting the same results. That's called entanglement. You've got to literally move into ideas that are foreign to you. And when you move into ideas that are foreign to you, you're going somewhere different. The information that comes into the mind comes from either the outside world or frequencies that you can tap into. As an infant, your subconscious mind was wide open and there was nothing there yet. You had no ability to reject, just accept. The information that came from your parents, ancestors, environment, people, and things you hear, see, smell, taste, touch. This information became the foundation of your beliefs. This past information has created your present and possibility majority of your future. If you don't understand or willing to understand how this process works. The mind is the power. The mind has the power to put thoughts into formation. Only by emotionalizing with the thoughts. When thoughts and images are internalized, the mind begins to attach an emotion to these ideas and pushes it out into the universe, and out comes the expressions and experiences. Whatever is impressed must be expressed. When this happens, you receive the ideas along with the results and circumstances you have unconsciously requested. Through this process, I'm going to stop here. We're getting closer to time. The idea here is look at the memory you're using. Is it taking you where you want to go? Are you getting the results that you want? Through these classes, you begin to learn more about yourself and how to change. Does anybody have any questions right now? We went through a lot and a lot to think about. And this is why it's not done in one day. It's through the constant spaced repetition. Questions? Anything I can help you guys with where you're at right now?
I don't have any questions, but it all resonates. Like you just kind of know it's true. So
Yeah.
it's reinforcing what you know is like buried deep in there, and it's familiar and known. So hearing it out loud is really valuable.
Yep. Yeah, John's tied up right now. No worries, John. Uh, what I like to do is figure out where you're at, what you're doing. I need to know where you're at, what you're doing right now, because right now is creating the future, literally. And if you're using the wrong ideas, you're going to create more of the same. I need to know where you're going. I need to know where you want to go, and then create a plan that's going to change the habits and behaviors. There's no accidents. We're right on plan with with the resistance normally. Eh, we're going to become masters at deprogramming the resistance, masters at changing the resistance. When we focus on mastering the resistance, we'll master reality. If we do not master the resistance, normally we don't want to master the resistance. We don't want to look at it because we're afraid. And what resists persists. But if you focus on the resistance, you'll find the way. We're at our time. Lori, you bring me your plan.
I have to
When you're
make
ready.
it. I have to make it. No, it was all really good, especially at the beginning. I have to define what I want. I feel like what I want is too loose and abstract and it's not defined.
Correct.
So that's
And that's
where
normal.
I'm living is in a like a cloud of what I want, but not a define
It's
what
not
I want.
clearly defined. Yep. And that's
And
normal
that's where I need to work.
for individuals like you. You're creative by nature. So you're normally use your right hemisphere. So uh, the you once you get more of a clearly defined, and if you need help with it, let me know. We'll meet up this week.
Yeah, if there's a list of questions to help me define, does that exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that in that content you shared maybe?
Mhm.
Or okay.
Yeah. If you look at the mindset reset, uh, the workbook that I sent you,
Yes.
um, it'll help you get started. But we started off. I need to know what you want to earn, and we start moving backwards, back to where you're at, and that's how we
Mhm.
start to build a model. So let me know when you want to get together.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Bye.